Live again. Second time today. No one's joined yet, and there's a pretty big storm outside, so figured it'd be a good time. Oh, I just poked myself with a fly. That almost ended badly, and I figured it'd be a pretty good time to do another live stream, so, yep. 20 seconds in, I'm just gonna start, even if no one's joining yet. I have a new live chat set up, so I can see it once I get into my account. 1 second. While I set this up, I'll see if anyone joins. Let's see. Turn up the volume. Okay, so let me just change the setup right here. YouTube Studio. No one's joining yet. Switch account. One person's watching. Okay. Well, sorry, one person. Just hang tight for 1 second. I'm going to get my live chat set up. And then, yeah, we'll be right at it here in a second. So, you can see that I'm live here. I'm going to make sure to mute this. Got it. Got it. Okay, so okay, there we go. Here's my little, I'm monitoring everything, my computer, so I can see all the chat off to this side, and I can kind of not see the chat on the phone screen. So, yeah, without further ado, we're going to start today's video. So, thank you, one person, for joining. That's I tie flies, in case you're wondering. So, that's, if you've ever heard of fly fishing, I make these flies, and they're very unique. I'll show you what they look like. Just like that. So this is a woolly bugger. It's a pattern. It's a fly pattern for rainbow trout, salmon, brown trout. It's more of a river type fly. And I tie flies. I am 13 years old. My name is Conrad. That's my little introduction for you guys. Once again, I am 13 years old. My name is Conrad. I have Fort Lauderdale Fishing Channel. That's my YouTube channel. You can see down there. And yeah, I started YouTube about 2 years ago. And yeah, that's what I do. So I'll try and do a little bit of a tutorial style video, as well as trying to keep it nice and entertaining. So I'm just going to zoom in on that fly right there, so you guys can see. And yeah, I'm just going to close the computer. I really don't want to get too many feathers on it. Set it down there, and we have 3 people watching. So for those 3 people, another introduction. This is probably going to be the last one I do today. My name is Conrad. I am 13 years old. I am the owner of Fort Lauderdale Fishing Channel. I fish here out of Fort Lauderdale in Miami, Florida, and I tie flies. I'm a fly fisherman. So what I'm doing right here, you guys can see, this is a marabou feather. It's the feather, it's the tail, well, it's more of like a down feather of a rooster or some other bird. And I use these to make flies. Here's an example of what I'm tying, called a woolly bugger. It's a trout fly. And yeah, right now I'm just constructing the tail portion of it, if you guys can see. Hopefully you can. And I'm really trying to get a good angle, so mainly just watching the stream footage instead of actually what I'm doing, which might not be the best idea. Now that I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it, give it a little bit of a haircut, so hopefully you can see. Okay, I'm trimming off that excess bit of feather. I'm going to start wrapping it around again. And yeah, once I've finished doing the wrapping, I'm just going to try and make it into a nice tapered shape right here. You can see I'm just compressing down all those little bits of feathers. That is so it's nice and streamlined in the water, doesn't take up too much space. And this guy's looking a little bit wacky, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put like a few wraps right over the base of the feathers. That will help contain the feathers. You can see it kind of, it's a lot less messy now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my chenille. Chenille is like a fuzzy yarn. It's sparkly yarn, just like that. And for the two people that just joined, I tie flies. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm 13 years old. And yeah, I'm gonna cut off a piece of this chenille, my sparkly yarn, and this is gonna make the body of the fly. So you can see this is the fly I'm tying, and that's the part of it that I'm gonna tie. I'm just stripping off that little bit of sparkly stuff to get it down to that little bare thread right there. Now that I've done that, I'm going to secure it using my fly tying thread. All of these flies that I'm tying today are called woolly buggers, and I'm tying them in the olive pattern. This is so that the person who I'm selling them to wanted them in olive, so I do what they say because they give me stuff. No, but I tie it for them because I know them very well, and I enjoy fishing with them. And they ask me for some flies, and they own a charter business, and they just give me some free merch, and I just do it just to give him some flies. And he always trades stuff with me in return for my flies. So I'm just going to pick out a hackle feather. This is the tail feather of a rooster that are dyed in the olive color, because that's what color I want to make them with. So it's a very thin feather, just like that. You can see it's quite opposite the marabou. That's like a down feather. That's what I'm using for the tail. So for the hackle feather, I'm just going to strip it, pull off all those little fuzzies that might be down at the base of the feather. Make sure it's a nice thin piece. I'm going to grab out my scissors, which I thought I had a pair up here. Right here. Scissors. I'm going to snip right there, just like that. Might take off a little bit more bulk just because it's super long, and I don't really like those long feather strands. So it's a more even, uniform shape the feather. So I'm just going to snip off that little wiry bit. So that way I'm left with only a little bit, and hopefully you guys can see. I'm just attaching this, and what I'm going to do is wrap thread around it. So that way, that makes sure it stays nice and secure, because the feather is super slippery, so you don't want it to come out and become undone. So now that I've done that, what I'm going to do is twist on the chenille, which is going to be the body of my fly, as you can see right here. That's the chenille, and you can see when they make it, it's quite flat. It's not two-dimensional almost. Even though it might look a little bit twisted, it's a little bit three-dimensional just because it's twisted. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom out a little so you guys can see, is I'm going to twist it just like this, rolling it up, and that's going to give it a nice circular shape. That will make sure it gives it a nice body. So I'm just going to keep rolling it up in between my fingers until I get this nice circular shape. Then what I'm going to do is just wrap it up around the fly to create a body. This body will serve as a nice big area that fish will hopefully become attracted to. The sparkles really draw them in well. And I just reached a little blank spot there where there's no material, so I just kind of wrapped it all in the same place and moved on. Once I got to the top, I'm going to stop a little bit before the eye of the hook. Cover it up, sorry for the bad angle. Hopefully you can still see the eye. And I'm just going to do some wraps. This is to form the head, or the head of the fly, and that will be covered in head cement or UV curing resin, so that way we can create a nice head to the fly. Now that that's done, I'm going to do something very cool, which is with this hackle feather, I'm going to fluff it all up so you can see it gets nice, big, and spiky. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around the chenille body. I'm going to try and intertwine it, or kind of weave it into the gaps in the chenille. And this will create something that looks very cool looking. It's like a hedgehog or a porcupine. Now I'm just going to cover that up here for a second. I'm going to wrap it to secure this little bit of feather, and it's also building onto the head, which will be the area that first meets the water when you pull it through. So you want it to be super nice, hydrodynamic, and uniform. So that's basically the finished fly. Now what I'm going to do is pull out my length, and here's a very cool part of the fly tying process. It's called whip finishing. So what you do is you put your whip finish tool, just this little end, you loop it onto there, onto your thread, you loop it into the little nook there, you grab it, you spin it around twice or 3 times, then you put it right up there, slip it off the back, pull it tight, and then just like that, pull it out. It's very interesting, and once you get the hang of it, you can go rather quickly if you know how to do it, which I'm not the best at it. You just kind of spin it around. And it's very easy to adjust if you do make a mistake. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten it all the way down, cut it right before the knot, and that's the finished fly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my UV curing resin. Right here, this is a very cool process. I'm going to take it, put a little drop of it on there, and grab my huge UV flashlight right here. It has a timer on it, and it's quite bright. And what it does is it actually cures the gel onto the knot, so that way it does not slip out. This just helps it become more durable, so that way fish teeth and everything like that will not affect it. Because if you fish or fly a lot, it will inevitably disintegrate, so you do want to have some way of sealing in the knot. So I'm just using some UV curing resin and a little flashlight. There's a 30-second timer on it, and it should be running out quite soon. Yep, just like that, it ran out. That's how I know it's been curing for 30 seconds. Now what I do is I kind of look at it, pull on those little hackle bits, and it's never going to look super great, but when you give it to someone or sell it to someone, you want to make sure it looks nice, because the fish don't really care that much, but humans do. So you want to make sure they look very nice. And make sure it's nice, even, and something someone would want to buy. Another thing to do is clear out that hook eye. So I'm going to take the tip of my whip finish tool, stick it through the eye of the hook. There we go, just like that. Clear that out, pull it through, pull it out. Now we have a nice clear eye that can be fished with some line. So you can thread your line through very easily. That is a finished woolly bugger. It's a very spiky one, but yep, that's a finished one, and that's going to be sold as soon as I can get it out to Alaska. And the person who I'm selling these to is Copper River Guides. His name is Brandon, and you guys should go check him out. He does king salmon charters on the Tonsina and Clutina River. Hello, Riley Holiday. And yeah, he does a whole bunch of charters, and he also does whitewater river rafting charters that are very cool, very fun to do. And he does some fly fishing for sockeye salmon. We catch a lot of king salmon. If you want to go check that out, I published a few videos about him on the channel. And there's a few long form videos, some YouTube shorts, and that would be around the August time frame, because that's when we really go primarily fish for them. So I'm gonna start my second fly. I mean, usually you'd buy these flies at like the Bass Pro Shop for $6 a piece, $6 to $8 a piece. So yeah, I mean, they're pretty expensive to buy from a store once you start buying a lot of them, they do get expensive. So making them is a very efficient way, because right here, that's, if each one's like, I don't know, $6, $24 worth of flies right there. Of course, you can't sell them for that much to someone like a store or anything, but they're worth a lot of money if you do make a lot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marabou feathers, that's the down of a rooster or hen, and yeah, I'm just going to straighten it out, make sure I get a nice little piece of it. Try and make sure it's not too thick, so that way it keeps the fly nice and hydrodynamic. Then, once I've done that, I twist it, that way it creates a nice bushy tail that will look very nice in the water. It will attract some fish. Now I'm going to wrap it very tightly on the shank of the hook, just like that. Now that I've done that, I'm going to give him a little haircut right there. Snip, snip haircut. And once I've done that, I'm going to do another haircut. I'm just going to trim it down and make him completely bald in that area. Once that is somewhat complete, we're going to wrap it up. in with the thread. That will taper it off, make a nice even finish right there. Now that we've done that, we're going to grab our length of chenille, cut it right there. Just some sparkly yarn, you can see. It's yarn with some iridescent strands mixed into it. Now that that's done, I'm going to, I feel like this tail is a little bit bushy, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw on a wrap. There's two that are right in front of it that will kind of compress it down a little bit more. Now that I've done that, I'm going to take this guy right there, which is a stripped piece of the chenille, which is the iridescent yarn, and I'm going to wrap it all up, just like that. And with that little excess bit, I'm going to take scissors, cut it. Now that I have done that, I can pull that to the side, grab a hackle feather, which these guys are some rooster tail feathers, and I'm going to pick one that, well, I'll show you an example of one that's not super good to pick, is this. You can see it tapers off very quickly, and it's going to lead to a very uneven fly. So what I'm looking for is something that tapers off very slowly, that's relatively thin. And if I were tying bigger flies, yes, I would choose a bigger feather that tapered off maybe slightly more quickly. But since I'm tying very small flies on number 6 size hooks, I'm only going to use one that is I want something like that. Once I have that, I'm going to strip off this part of the feather, just like that. Make it nice and bare. Snip. Get it nice and even. There we go. That's going to be what we're going to wrap around. This is probably one of the most fun processes, I think, in fly tying. Because it makes just a very satisfying part of fly tying, what I'm going to do here in a second. So stay tuned for that. So I'm going to wrap all the way up there, then all the way back up to the front. I'm going to trim off this little bit. And then what I'm going to do is wrap all the way up to the top, just like that. I'm going to leave a little bit of room for a head. And then what I'm going to do is take our chenille, right? This stuff is very, very flat if it's not spun around properly. So I'm just going to rotate it, spin it around between my fingers. And this is going to make it three-dimensional, nice, and take up a lot of area. This will create a nice, shiny body for the fly that attracts plenty of fish. Now what I'm going to do is just kind of spool it on up onto the shank of the hook. So create a nice body for fish to bite onto. Just like that, we're done with the chenille. Yep, that's good. Sorry for the terrible angle. Sorry you guys can't see very well. I mean, it's slightly better than last time's camera angle. Thank you to my mom for figuring out this angle. It's slightly easier for you guys to see, so. Yep, gonna cut right there. Maybe a little bit better than that. And we're gonna form ourselves a little bit of a head. That is so we can have an area that's just nice, flat, easy to maintain, and it's the first thing the water's gonna hit, so you just want it to be nice, smooth. Like, you just need a head so that you can secure everything down. Once I've done that, this is a very cool part. This is very satisfying. I'm gonna fluff up that feather. Just like that. So you can see now it's nice and spiky. We're going to wrap it around. Just like that. This is going to create the big wide body that disturbs a lot of water and attracts a lot of fish. And there's two ways to really do this. You can have a cone-shaped one, which the feathers, these kind of fibers are facing outwards, or kind of like a dome, which they're facing inwards. Right now, I accidentally did a cone-shaped one where it's kind of curved out. I don't even think that's a real thing, but that's just what I've noticed. The feathers are biased in some way, and that will create different ways that they lie on the fly. Oh, I just let go of it. That's never good. So once I'm finished with that, what I'm going to do, same thing, just wrap it up. Sorry for the terrible camera angle. I promise I'll improve it here in a second. There we go. Now that that's done, I'm going to snip. Keep it nice and clear of any debris. Grab that guy right there. Snip off those little excess bits. Thread in our whip finish tool, just kind of clearing it out. Making sure it's nice and open. And make sure it looks nice and attractive for a buyer to buy. And then I'm going to whip finish, which is a very cool process. So you want to keep it nice and tight, the line, the thread. You can't really see, but I'm holding it very tightly. When you place the whip finish tool on, you put in a lot of slack to wrap around this part of it. You guys can't see it. Sorry. Here you go. So once you've put in a lot of slack, you wrap it, wrap 2 or 3 times. Pop it off the back end. Then you can manipulate it with that little tip to get it into the spot you want. So nice and tight, loose. Wrap around, 2, 3. Pop it off and move it to wherever you want. Just like that. Now what I'm going to do is just snip. Right there, nice and close to the head. Gonna grab it. Actually, I'll just use some head cement. It is a little bit cheaper and I don't need these to dry right away. So head cement is this stuff right here. It's basically just Elmer's glue. Well, it's waterproof Elmer's glue, but it's air drying is my point. Should have said that. Yeah, it's not UV curable. And it forms, I think it forms a little bit of a nicer head. It's easier to apply to. It's a little bit faster to coat the entire thing. And we have a visitor. So my loyal 11 viewers who've been staying here like the entire time, now I have another person to come on in. You can say hello and introduce yourself whenever you're ready. Just come up to the camera. Oh, okay. Well, he's...
What is that? Wally?
Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
This is probably the worst one I've dyed today. Thank you. Just doing that really precision work. Trying to get every last stray here. Yeah, you can. Didn't you tie one already?
No.
What did you tie?
Dolphin.
You tied a dolphin fly. Okay, so in the previous episode of nighttime fly tying, he came in and
Made a racket.
yeah, he made a racket. But yeah, he came in here and tied a few flies. I'll show them to you. They're pretty good. And yeah, here's that woolly bugger. Not too bad, not too great. Here's the ones I've tied so far, which are quite a few. You can take a look at them.
Yeah.
The ones I've tied so far.
Why is this on the floor?
So not too many. Why is that? Oh, I was using it to look at the chat, but then there was not too many people were active in it. So now that he's coming over here, he's gonna tie a few. So I'm gonna zoom out. See you guys. Okay, introduce yourself. Name?
Al with a short haircut.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about yourself?
Oh, here to learn.
Okay, that's Captain Al, in case you're wondering. He's the reason why we catch all the fish on Fort Lauderdale Fishing Channel. So you're going to take that out, and let's see, where's my Bass Pro cleaning up bag? If I can't find it, that's completely fine. Oh, it's over there in that corner. Okay, so we're going to get him set up, and that's my peak viewers right now, 13. That's nice. We should probably do something with all those viewers that are sitting there, so... Yeah, you guys get to watch us clean up here for a second. Sorry about that. But, yeah. You are going to... What fly? So you want to tie a woolly bugger? Is that correct?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see. What did I just do? Oh my goodness, I just messed up the entire stream. There we go. Zoom out. Oh, that is zoomed out. Okay, that makes sense. So you guys will see his vise a little bit. He just tied his first few flies the other day, and I'm teaching him. So I have a few Kona hooks. I don't particularly love them. This is a stinger hook, but that will do because I don't have too many. Oh, there's a trap streamer XL. It's not a stinger. Yeah, I just finished this pack of them today. Okay, that's enough of that. So grab yourself out. You're gonna tie 2 or 3, I think. They're
2 or
pretty,
3.
They're pretty fast. Put your hook in your vise.
There's popcorn going, so I might not be here that long.
Okay, he loves popcorn. That's another fact about him. He's
Alright, just put it in the same way.
yeah, put it in the same way, and
Because I know.
yeah, this is the egg fly I tied this morning, in case you're wondering.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's a little better, and this is without mommy doing anything to it, so it still needs a little bit of love.
Alright, okay.
I'm getting more dialed in with them. That's scrap.
Is that enough shank available?
I would not clip it in that way.
Why?
Here, I'll show you. It's just
You want the hook up?
yeah, I just put it right there.
And you want it down there.
Yeah, so that's how to clamp a hook into the vise. Just like that, right there at the corner. That's how you really want to do it, and yeah, this is going to be more like a tutorial style video now. So, yeah, you can see my vise for now. Just cleaning up. Need a vacuum up around here shortly. Okay, so, you're going to start out, what color thread do you want to use?
I guess I have to use red.
Okay, you're not using red on these.
Oh.
You're using white. So this stuff is really hard to work with.
Great.
So do not put a lot of pressure on it.
Am I rigging this up myself?
No, I'll do it for you. It's faster. Just putting my little bobbin threader thing through the hole. And then I'm going to slip my thread through the bobbin threader. That kind of holds it in place. So you guys can see. Pull it all the way through. Yeah, that did not work at all. That was a
Too
failed
short.
attempt. No, it's not too short. I just didn't grab it right. Let's try getting this right. There you go, you got it secured. Give it a little bit of a harder yank. Pull it all the way tight. There we go, that's yours.
Thanks.
You want to use green?
I don't know, is it stronger?
No, green is a lot stronger, but that stuff, it's not that hard to use. Just don't tighten it too much. So, follow what I do. What you're going to do first thing, so these are hard to use, these hooks, I don't like them. First thing you're going to do is create your head, 2 wraps, and then go all the way down. There we go.
You take that tag all the way down.
And do whatever you want. You can cut it, well, just, yeah, take it all the way down and then cut it. It's a lot easier.
Oh, I keep going in the eye. This is going to be challenging.
Okay, so you want to put this part of the barrel closer to here. Yeah, when you wrap. And now you wrap. And try and just get one wrap and then go. Yeah, but you want to thread backwards. But yeah, that's good. And now just start threading backwards. Kind of speed up your motions with your hand. Here, pan the camera over there. You can see what I'm talking about. You want to speed up the motion with your hand. And yeah, get all the way down. Yeah, it doesn't need to be complete coverage like this, for example. Because this is just to get everything to stick on. That way there's no slipping going
All the way
on.
down to the bend.
Well, you just... There. So, first thing you're going to do is pick out a marabou feather.
1?
Yes, 1. It has to look good.
What do you mean pick it? Just pull it?
Yeah, just pull as hard as you can. Yank it. You want me to take it out for you? Here, I'll do it. This one's a good one. So you just separate the marabou feather. Pop it. So you want to use this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, this is nice and easy to work with. Pick myself out one.
You want to strip in the end?
Not really.
It's already stripped.
Oh, you're gonna cut the end. So what you're gonna do, pinch it with 2 fingers. So the camera can see as well. Pinch it with 2 fingers and slide down. So that way you can get to that desired end very easily.
Like that?
Yeah, but you want very, very little.
Hmm?
You want like that much.
What do you mean?
Like you only want to hold that much in these fingers, and then you place it onto the shank. Even less. So take that right there, place it down.
You're twisting it?
Just a little. Just get it into a nice, tight, organized bunch. So I always recommend trimming here. I'd always recommend trimming that because it will do
You
that.
found.
Yeah.
You left out a step.
Okay, well, that's an obvious step. Okay, you keep doing what you're doing. I'll figure this out.
Good thing I just tried to poke.
What? Well, I said you catch the fish. I literally just said that to the camera.
Alright.
Okay, so now that you've done that, you're gonna pinch your feather, take it all the way down to, you want a nice little bunch. You're gonna place it down. Make sure it makes a nice tail, and then you can do some wraps
Where do you want the end of your tail?
somewhere. No,
Like that?
no, like that. Like, match the length. See that?
You're wasting a lot of feather.
Well, this part's not usable.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, no one uses that part of the feather.
Like that?
Like, even less. Like, try to be as wasteful as possible with this. Like, this part of the feather is unusable because
Like
it has a super thick area. That much. That's gonna even that's gonna be a big skirt, but it will look nice, so. I'll create some variety so people know it's hand-tied. Trim that.
Alright, so what am I doing? Just setting down the shank and wrapping?
Yeah, wrapping it.
How many?
I don't know. Just
A bunch?
not a bunch, just as much as it needs
All
to
the
get
way
it
up
tight.
to the eye?
No. You just do like there. You only wrap it in like one place, right between.
How many wraps?
I don't know, just a few. As much as it needs to get tight. Whenever you add a new material,
Okay. There you go.
that's tight. Okay. So now you can take your scissors and trim right here. Trim it, make it nice and neat, like you're giving it a haircut. And then you're just gonna compress it all down with your thread, just like how I'm doing. Make it look like it was never even there.
Like so.
Yeah. Try not to try and roll it out of the bobbin by hand. Okay. Can I see? It's not bad. It's just really biased to one side, so you just want to twist it like that. That's less biased. And you might give the feathers a little trim in the back end. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. So next step we're gonna do is grab a piece of chenille. Glad I bought the extra package of this. So we're almost done with it. So we'll probably end up using that much. And 3 flies, so cut it right here. Where's your piece? My piece. So first thing,
What?
low power mode, alert, okay. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna strip the tip, okay? So put your thumbnail in there, pull it, strip that little tip. Like you want this much. Nice amount so it's easy to wrap. Now that you've done that, you're gonna place it onto the shank.
Where? Right up at the head or right where the other one is?
Right where the other one ends. And you're gonna wrap it on.
Just enough to get it tight?
Yep. And make sure it's nice and even. Yeah, that's good. Make sure it's nice and.
Shoot.
Yeah, that's what you said. Uh-huh.
Ouch.
He said shoot. Yeah. It's a kids-friendly channel. He was talking about that Lego boat over there.
I had a problem.
Okay. What's your problem? Oh. You didn't wrap it tight enough.
Oh, just when I stripped it, it kind of was like separating.
Okay, so he had a few minor problems over there. And now I'm gonna pick him out of hackle feather, so this guy right here looks pretty nice. Even though it's very bushy around here, you can kind of trim it down to that. There we go, that. Pick myself out one. Any of these really? Not those. Those you really, like these really thick ones you want to use for like flaps on a seducer fly. And they create like the frog leg motion. This one's very weird. It's like, oh, it was just cut short. I like this one. Just gonna snap off our piece of hackle. Just like that. And yeah, strip it down. I'm tying flies for those of you who just joined. And I'm gonna snip right there. So, this is your piece of hackle. You can do the same thing as this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You want me to strip it down for you?
Sure.
Nice and stripped down. And now you're gonna place it onto here and wrap it up just like what you did with the chenille.
Just till it's tight.
Yep.
Right on the top.
Yep.
Do I want the feather going this way
Just back.
or up?
Back. Like this. That doesn't matter. So what I'm doing is I'm wrapping it up. A bit of a close-up shot.
This guy takes a little bit more of a wrap, right?
Yeah, because the feather is actually very slippery in that portion. It makes it harder to do. Still no likes.
What?
No, no one's liking the video yet.
Yeah. Our thumbs must be broken. Here we go. Alright.
Okay, so what you're gonna do, grab your chenille, just like that, and you're gonna wrap it. You're gonna spin it. Okay, take it.
Twist it, you mean?
Yeah. Just gonna twist it up as many times as you want. Just so you get it to that nice, brushy stage. It's nice and fluffy. Just like that. That's good.
Okay.
Your next step is gonna be to wrap the chenille around the shank. Just like this.
And what about your line? You're just gonna cross over it?
Make sure your line is at the head.
Really?
Yeah, make sure it's all the way at the top. Put it all the way up. That's good right there. And you're gonna wrap your chenille all the way up. Chenille's just kind of falling apart in my hands.
You're supposed to get all that on that little area?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Oh yeah, if you have too much, you have too much. Just cut it.
Well, I could put it outside or...
Well, I gave you the same amount as I gave myself.
Oh, then I gotta do it over again.
Just make sure it's nice and fits on well. It doesn't need to be perfect, just that's because the hackle feathers are going to cover it up. So if it's a little bit gappy, it's completely fine. Once you've done that, you're going to build up your head. If you can't do it anymore tightly, then it's completely fine. I'll pan over the camera. There we go. Yeah, not much to see.
Okay.
Okay, now that you've done that, you're gonna wrap it, secure it with your bobbin.
Of course, this went in the
If it went in the eyelet, that's completely fine. As long as you get it back out. So our next step is going to be to run our finger along here. This is a very cool part. And I'm just going to fluff it up just like that. And then the next step that I will do is spiral it all on. Try and keep it oriented in a certain way. Oh, that is just lovely. I should do that a different way. So, because that did not go on the right way, I'm going to spin it this way.
What am I doing with this end? Cutting it? This
That's
extra?
better. Oh yeah, cut that. Scissors.
Where's my scissors?
I have no clue. They're in the drawer.
Alright, what am I doing after that?
You're gonna wrap your hackle feather.
Oh, man, I thought that was gonna go.
So once you've wrapped your hackle feather, sorry for the very bad angle. You can secure it just like that. Snip little bits of feathers. But I just knocked it, like, undid all of my progress. Once you do that...
So what, then I'm wrapping that end of the hackle?
Yep, and then you just secure it. Okay, you need to loosen it with your fingers.
Oh, yeah.
So my final step is going to be to whip finish the fly. So take our whip finish tool, hook it on, wrap, like that, loop, put it on there, and finish it. So, oh, I've never done that. I've never done that. 2 wraps this time. Nice and tight. Now, if you do accidentally cross over some hackle feathers.
That's it?
Yep.
It's done.
Correct. And then you have to whip finish it, or you can just use the fingers.
Let me see that thing.
What thing?
That tool.
Okay. I'm gonna paint the head with a little bit of head cement. This is basically glue for the head. It's very nice and easy to use. What I do is take it and put a glob of it on the knot. There we go. Coat it completely. Nice and sealed. Okay, just use your fingers then. This is a very special one. His tail seems a little bit interesting, but yeah, that's a better view. It's one I tied. We'll do a comparison if he's willing to. I mean, mine is definitely special. It's,
how many times? 3?
Yeah. And then, can I take yours and just kind of trim it up? Okay, stretching here. Yeah. Gonna add another fly to our collection of woolly buggers that is slowly growing, and one more here that I tied the other day. I tied that one this morning. See, how many do I have? I have 1, 2 in there. Oh, that's an ugly one.
Alright, I'm cutting this off.
Yes.
Or do I need more?
You cut that one off.
Hmm?
You just cut it. Right there. Some scissors are here. And then just paint it with that head cement.
Am I trimming anything first?
No, I'll trim it all for you.
After?
Yeah. Here's an example of an egg-sucking leech. It's basically just a woolly bugger with an orange head on it. That just kind of gives it a little bit more... It attracts more fish. They're a lot harder to do.
Just regular this?
Yep, just regular. Oh no.
Did I do that?
No, I ran over his toe with the chair. Okay.
Why is this so bent?
Why is what all bent?
This.
The feather, yeah, that's just how it came.
Because it's too long for the container?
Yeah, it's an interesting design choice. So that's all my woolly buggers for now. I have a few more down in there. That's a kind of special one. Well, this is one that I've painted the head on. That's a cool one too. I do like that one. Although it is special.
Right,
That's your finished product. Not too bad. Here, I'm gonna just trim it up a little bit. That's fine with you. How tightly did you put that in the vise? Okay, there we go. This is his. Not bad. It just needs a little bit of care. And I clamp down that vise, and now I'm going to work on it with a tip right there. So, one mistake you did make was just coating a lot of those feathers with the head cement.
Here goes the rain again.
Yep. Here in Florida, there are a few storms right now. Yep. This is one that will probably, I don't know. It's a nice one. I think, yeah, we can definitely sell that. It has a few little feathers sticking out, but it's still very nice fly. Good job.
Nice.
Pretty good looking.
Nice.
You wanna tie anything else?
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see one of yours?
You can see all of mine.
Oh, I don't want to see.
That's one of my earlier ones, I think. That's probably not the best. Okay, I'll put away some of our trash.
Here.
Set it down in that little pile. And so, yep, we're preparing for the Alaska trip as far as tying the flies. So, yeah. Should I do another egg fly? I don't know.
I'm gonna take a break.
Can you take a break and come back if you would like?
There's some hooks on the floor.
Okay. Okay. Now, what should I tie? What to do?
Here, let me show Mom.
Show her what you tied.
There.
I don't even know which one it is. Where did you put it? Back in the pile?
That one.
This one?
Towards the end.
I think it's this one. Okay, so close the door. Smells good out there. Smells like popcorn. But yeah, I'm gonna resist the urge to go grab a bite to eat, and I'm gonna keep tying flies. So yeah, hard work does pay off. I mean, I got a $30 beanie from them for a few flies. So yeah. What to tie? Do I want to? I don't know. Do I want to open another package of my McFly foam? Should have bought another thing of this. I mean, that's all I really feel like tying. Oh, some of this stuff. If you guys have any suggestions for flies that you want me to tie, please feel free to put them down in the chat. I would really appreciate that. Because I'm at a loss for ideas right now. Could do a craft fur minnow. Why not? We'll do a little craft fur minnow. It's gonna be definitely one that needs some love and care, but I do have my 3D glow eyes, so yeah, why not? What's the worst that could happen? First step we're gonna do is get ourselves a nice streamer hook, and I'll use a size, let's see, what size is this? Size 25 streamer hook. These nice big mustads. And yeah, I do not really recommend Kona hooks. They break really easily, and yeah, the two hooks I really recommend for fly tying are Montana Fly Company hooks and mustad hooks. I also like Gamakatsu hooks, but they are very expensive, and I do not think they are worth it for the price. So there's a nice close-up shot of the vise, and now we will begin. I will just use the white thread. Actually, no, I'll use green, because I'm going to make it a nice little green minnow. So first thing we're going to do is give it a nice little head, just like that, all the way down, or halfway down, I should say. Give it a little snip. And here's what I'm going to be using. So I really do like Arctic fox fur, but the problem with it is like crazy expensive. It's like $20 for something this big, and I don't have that kind of money to be spending $20 on like 5 or 6 of those colors. So this is craft fur. This stuff is like $6 or $7 a thing. It's a lot cheaper, but yeah. And it's basically the same thing, except for it's synthetic material instead of natural. I still would like some natural Arctic fox hair, but they're also so cute. I really don't want to use them. It's fly tying material. So I'm going to take off a nice little bunch here. I'm just selecting it off the piece of craft fur. So I've got myself a nice little bit of fur. I'm going to go nice and tight. Right there. Nice and tight along the bottom, or along the kind of fur part of it. I mean, not the fur, the felt base, and trim off a nice little bunch. Just like that. I'm really in the olive type of mood today because I'm doing every single fly in olive color today. I do have some white. Oh, that's going to be nice. It's going to be a nice fly. So the top half is going to be olive. And the bottom half will be white, so it's a nice little bait fish mimicking fly. All the way up to the top. I'm going to do 2 little things, just like that, nice and secure, because this craft fur is very, very slippery. Make sure it gets all the way up there to the head. We're going to give him a little trim. And for the minnow flies that I do tie, I like leaving a little bit of shank exposed, because occasionally, or most of the time actually, you'll end up hooking a nice toothy fish, and that little bit of tooth protection really does help. And I sometimes wire rig these, because a mackerel is very fun on like a 5-weight fly rod, and that's mainly what I fish is a 5-weight, because it makes everything fun. There we go. Nice and tight. So now I'm just going to kind of pull it, make sure there's nothing kind of hanging off, and once you've gotten back there, I'm just going to give it a nice little taper. So even though it doesn't look that great right now, it should look a lot better in the water. The next step is grab our next color of craft fur, and it would be kind of cool to do like a little line in black halfway down. That's a nice idea, but I just feel like it's not going to work out. Oh my gosh, this is a huge thing of craft fur. Oh my gosh, this is like a blanket. I didn't even realize how big this is. Here's a zoom out for scale. This is how big this is. It's a huge sheet of it. Yeah. I don't even think I've touched this. Yeah, I haven't used an inch of it. So yeah, some new materials. No clue what brand this is. These are slightly shorter. Fur on this stuff is short. I have no clue how to break into this stuff. Just kind of trim very flat, flush with the felt is what I'm doing right now. Just get nice close down. There you go. Now once that is done, I'm going to grab a nice little bunch of it. There we go. Flip the vise all the way over. Gonna kind of push it on both sides. once we have completed that, pinch it together nicely and do some thread wraps. Making sure to keep it nice and secure all the way through. Okay, once that is done, I'm going to pull off all these little excess bits from here. Once that is done, I'm going to take a pair of scissors, do this, and just give them a little haircut. Once again. Once I've done that, I'm going to get a nice tight wrap up to the eye of the hook and then follow backwards. That way I make a nice even head. So once that is done, there are going to be a lot of guys that are not, a lot of pieces of feathers that, or a lot of pieces of craft fur, excuse me, they're not secured in properly, so we're just going to run our fingers through them and pull off all the excess. So once we've kind of separated all of the ones that aren't attached, we're going to split the white into two and yeah, put them into a nice formation. That's basically about it for this fly. Then what we do is we're going to whip finish the fly. That's going to be first step. And then we're going to attach our little glow bead eyes. Actually, I might just do one of these hourglass eyes, because I do like a little bit of weight to these types of streamers. These fast action minnow type streamers. So yeah, I'll do an hourglass eye first. So this is, I think it's a 1/16, which is plenty of weight for something like this. So keep it nice and far back there. Okay, so I cannot get this secure, so we are going to pull it a little bit farther back. Just please get around it. It's very challenging for me securing an hourglass eye. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we counter it by going around the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Just pull it in place. 14, 15, 16. Oh no. 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. I had to do over double to get it straightened. That's very interesting. And once I've done that, we're gonna finish forming our nice little head underneath there. Yeah, I'm gonna take our whip finish tool, hook it on, give it some slack, wrap it around the back end, spin, 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 pop it off, put the end wherever you want it. Same thing, repeat the process. 2, 3. Just like that. Pull it to another location. Okay, once I've kind of done that, trim it. And then, this is pretty much the finished fly. I've done a few where I've UV cured part of their bodies, that way they stay nice in the water, but I just like a nice, natural craft fur look. It's a nice little minnow fly. More of a saltwater tarpon snook jack fly. And they are very nice. They work pretty well. So, next thing I'm going to do is thread the guide. And I'm going to end the stream at about the hour mark, so thank you guys for watching. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. That is not good. So, yep. all the way around. We're gonna take our big light that I like to call the sun. Turn it on, has a 30-second timer. Look at that white, it glows very well. Gonna give it a nice 30-second sunlight bath that will hopefully cure it. So I'm just gonna spin it all the way around. Get it nicely applied. Keep rotating. Should turn off in about a few seconds. Yep, right there. And yeah, that's it for the craft fur fly. We're gonna put back up our craft fur. And yeah, that's a first for the channel. Haven't really tied one of those on camera. This is my brand new fly. This is my brand new fly tying setup. It's pretty nice. I mean, I just got everything organized, moved everything into position, and this is like the third or fourth time I've used it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it quite well. Very easy to keep things organized. Put everything back in the right place. Here, I'll zoom out a little bit. Show you guys. It's a nice desk right here. Keep all my camera equipment in here. This little cubby. A little bit of a mess back there because still getting everything situated. And yeah, I'm just gonna sweep everything up into there. We have one more hook for a woolly bugger. Oh, I should do that. I should tie the one last woolly bugger. And if you guys want, I will soak this guy in some water to show you what it will look like here in a second. But it will basically just be a nice tapered off minnow. It will look like that, but a lot more streamlined. And that's a very nice looking minnow. Minnow fly has the hourglass eye. It's a little bit wacky here. It looks a little bit weird out of the water, but once it goes in the water, everything gets compressed. It gets flattened out. And it's a very nice minnow fly. So that can kind of go. Actually, I'll put that in my fishing box because if I do fly fishing, there's a good chance I'll use it. So yeah, here's my current little saltwater box. I have a few other boxes placed around, but I know I have some other flies. Yeah, that's my little, oops, what was that? That's a woolly bugger. That should go in that pile. Yeah, I have some nice little flies in there. Yeah. Should I do another woolly bugger, finish up this little hook? Yeah, why not? Do the one, get the extra watch hours. Yeah, it's hard to quit once you've started. There's one extra hook up there, but I'm not tying that one. That goes in there. Oh, look at that. Got it stuck to my finger. So let's see, we're gonna do this for speed. We're at 63 minutes and 20 seconds. Let's try and do it under 5. Speed, speed, speed. Oops, that's not good. Speed, speed, speed. That's all I'm thinking about is speed. Trying to find a nice feather. Even though I'm doing this very quickly, I'm being very careful. Trying to make it a nice fly. Don't really want to waste materials because it is already very wasteful. Like how much of this feather I'm actually using is a very small amount. Yep. Wrap, 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 wrap. Go. Get a very nice tight trim first try. Don't go back over it. It takes too long. I'm gonna wrap that up with the line, with the thread. Do some wraps further back there. That way it compresses the skirt. In case you're wondering, I'm doing this for speed and speed only. So we start at 63 minutes, 1 minute in, halfway done. That is a pretty good speed. Now what I'm gonna do is strip down my feather. This is the hackle feather, rooster tail feather. In case you are unfamiliar, which I assume most of you guys are. And yep, gonna cut that. I need my chenille, which, oh no, this is gonna throw me way off course. I need to open up a new package. Stuff is from Bass Pro. It's White River brand. Yep. Pop that right there. Nice little strip it. That way I can get it nicely attached. There we go. All the way down. Okay. Now that I've done that, I'm gonna grab my hackle feather, which was here somewhere, and I just lost it. That's also taking a long time. It's probably like right here under my nose, and I just cannot see it. I'm gonna find it afterwards. But yeah, since I cannot find it, I need to make a new one. It's fairly simple. Oh, it's right there. Okay. This one's better. I like this one more. Gonna take it and we're going to wrap it up nice and securely. Bring it all the way back to the front. Spin this around. 63. How far are we in? We're 3 minutes in. Okay, about 3 minutes in. Started at 3:20, so we're just under 3 minutes actually. Hold it back. A few little wraps around. Okay. Spike up our feather. This is probably one of the coolest parts of tying a woolly bugger. This little hackle wrap. Makes it look like a porcupine. Very cool. Please just get all into a bunch. It's not too bad. And my head is already well enough formed so that I can just grab loop 2 and 1. Oh no, not good, not good. To redo. Oh no! Ah! That's terrible. I just undid like my entire feather wrap. Oh no. That's a first for me. Oh, that was loud. So my dad's watching a replay. That's very laggy. Okay. Yeah, I just said that's very laggy right now. That's when I heard it, so it's very laggy. Okay, so attempt 2 at doing this properly. Hook it. Try and get it. Loop. Please just stay on. Could have been done with this like a minute ago. Okay, beautiful. So, open up our little bit of head cement. Wipe off our brush and, oh no, that's a very big drop. Don't need that. Okay, now that that's done, okay, that is completely done. That's a finished woolly bugger in about, what's that, a little bit under 6 minutes. Not too bad. There we go. That's our woolly bugger. Not too bad. It's a little bit, needs a little bit of love, but yeah, it's a finished fly. While I have the viewers here, yep, I'm gonna end the stream right about now, so thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, that's about all I have to say, so yeah, once again, thank you, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!